Time for 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is Tuesday, and it's a victory football Tuesday, and I got my man with me, Wayne Breezy, the energy guy, the positive guy. How we doing, Wayne?
Straight up coming from the west side. Hey, let's go.
I freaking love it, man. We've got a good crowd already coming in. I see all the hashtag CCs. I freaking love it. The countdown crew showing up in effect. And Wayne, this episode, we're going to dive in. We got a lot to talk about. The 49ers come out. They answer. To say that they answer, you win by 2 touchdowns on Monday Night Football, and you shut out one of the better offenses the past 5 to 6 years, I'd say. The whole Kyle Shanahan versus McVay argument and all those different things. 49ers represented. And not only did they represent, dominating job by the defense. What are your takeaways? 49ers are now in first place. What was like one of the main things that you felt when that game was over? Where was Wayne's like headspace at? Like, where did you go? Like, okay, I now know this.
I think the picture of what Kyle is drawing is starting to become a little bit more clear. You ever did one of those pictures where you had you color by numbers?
Yeah, I'm not very artistic, so they had to be colored by numbers for me. They had to be.
Paint, color by numbers doesn't matter, right? And you know, sometimes you'll start the picture, you'll color all the ones, and then something comes up. And I think what Kyle Shanahan has been doing this whole time has been dialing up plays by numbers to set up the plays for the bigger picture to be filled. And I knew Kyle Shanahan wasn't going to lose to Sean McVay. This was a Kyle-Sean matchup. This had nothing to do with the 49ers and the Rams. This was all Kyle and Sean. Now, depending on the head coach to the players, like that, depending on that connection, then it'll start to stem out. Listen, Deebo Samuel never ever wants to lose to the Rams again. He made it clear. So what I got from this game is, yes, the defense was A1. I'm talking top USA grade certified Angus beef, top grade. Yes, absolutely. But y'all got to give love to this offense, mainly, John. And I'm going to write about this week. The offensive line gave up 0 sacks after pressures. They gave up 0 sacks. Makeshift. If Chris Forster don't start getting some mother loving love on our shows, then we're failing him because we're doing a disservice to Chris Forster. Chris Forster has had young guys. Speaking of young guys, John, your young guy, Nick Zakiel, maybe starting left tackle, at least backup left tackle for the upcoming week and Carolina and Atlanta. But John, what I got from this game was we got to be a little bit more patient, and we got to allow the picture to be painted for us. And it's coming together as they start to gel a little bit more. And Jimmy even said in his presser, he said, listen, I didn't necessarily mean that we needed to get into a rhythm, but he didn't say he said we sucked on third down. Like, that's what it was. We couldn't convert on third down. So he made it his business to make sure no matter what, whether I throw it or run it, we get in the third down completions because it kept drives alive. So yes, the offense only put up 14, but that doesn't mean they're not going to put up 50 something next week.
They showed out. Now, was it like an overpowering offensive juggernaut performance? No, they only scored 17 offensive points. You got 24 because of the pick 6 with Hufanga, but
should have scored 20.
Should have scored 20. Yeah, you had to miss field goal. Could have went for it on second or on that 4th and 2. Lots of different things up there. But like you said earlier, the one thing I like that you said, this was a Kyle versus McVay game. And if we've learned anything from the Broncos and the Bears, You can have a stellar defensive performance and still lose if the offense puts up goose eggs. Anytime the 49ers have scored over 10 points this year, they've won. That's a pretty damn low bar. So 17 points offensively, you're all right. And, I thought one of the things, I want to play this clip from Kyle, and shout out to the ever beautiful Juan Salas. He is incredible getting these clips. This is Kyle talking about the difference between the Broncos game and the Rams game in regards to Jimmy and third downs.
Whenever people in sports struggle to get out on the field, and we didn't get a third down, and we didn't get to third down a bunch last week, no one feels in rhythm. That's kind of the way we say it, but it really comes down to, that's just a broad statement to what happened. And we didn't convert a third down last week, and Jimmy came out on the first drive, and I don't know how many it was. I want to say he converted 3, but he threw some big throws there, and it kept us going and allowed us to start with the touchdown. So, I think last week that was the reason for it. It was third down mainly, but I thought he did a hell of a job on that early in this game, and that allowed us to end with some points.
And so the offense kind of got going. You were 0 for 9 on third downs against the Broncos. You finally converted 1, so 1 for 10, but that wasn't until late in the fourth quarter. You started off by converting 2. It was 2. I went back. I finished the defensive breakdowns, finished the first half of the offensive breakdown so far. And, man, I feel bad. I just see this comment from Flynn. He says, hey, John, when you do the defensive breakdown, I already did them. So the first half is already up. Second half comes out later today. I'm going to release that one. But Bosa was held a lot. What were your thoughts on that, Wayne? Because they were letting both sides play. I kind of prefer it that way.
I think that should be football, because players are gonna get held, unless it's a blatant call. Now, I thought some of the missed calls on Bosa were blatant though. I saw an elbow grip around the neck. I saw a headlock. Like you can't headlock a guy, but if it's a grab of a jersey or something like that, I mean, come on, man, come on, let that be gone. But if it's blatant, you gotta call it. But I definitely like the way the refs were holding it down yesterday, John. I felt like they let these guys play football until the BS call. And I'm not saying this because it was the Rams, but that Fred Warner call was so BS. I watched Cooper Kupp dart into him, and they called illegal contact on Fred Warner. And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? He ran into me. And so, yeah, the refs are going to miss calls, but I thought the game was pretty much called pretty well. Whatever 49ers, their penalties were, I kind of accepted them, except for that one. I thought that was a bad one. Other than that, when it comes to holding, Nick Bosa is going to get held on every play, guys. It's not his fault. He's just that powerful, that shifty, that dominant. And I can't wait to see him make the other guys better, because Samson Ebukam looked like Nick Bosa-esque.
I love revenge games. I'm such a nerd. Going back and playing against your old teammates and all that stuff. Do you remember everybody talking about how I never thought it was even a remote possibility, but that Samson Ebukam was going to be a cap cut casualty?
That was me. So you could blame me, John. I'll take that. Listen, he was going to cost the team $8 million, and the team had zero money. They had $0. And so at that moment, I was saying, I can see him, because of his cap hit and saving the team some money. We needed other things in other areas. I could see him being a cap casualty. So that's me. I'll own it. And I'm glad that I was wrong. I have no problems being wrong. I'm not eating crow pie, but I will tell you that I'm wrong.
Man, dude, Wayne just, he brings it. He's real. He's always real. He's always real. And I think he's going to get paid somewhere. I don't think the 49ers, we've seen this at other positions with Lakin, right? You draft Drake Jackson, who's been good, hasn't been great yet, but he's getting there. He's going to step in, or a Minihue. But I think that you're going to probably both those guys walk. I think Minihue, you might keep one, but I think definitely not both.
I think they keep Ebukam, and they slowly develop Drake. So NASCAR packages and give him more stuff as he develops. But right now, our Leo is Samson Ebukam. Hands down. He's great. Leo. Yeah.
He's so good, man. I mean, you get 2 sacks in a game, but a strip fumble. What he does in the run game's unreal. Effort. Just it's pretty damn good. And Josh, 40 Hours Faithful Forever. Givens and Ridgeway balled out, which, okay, let's talk about, because it's the yin and the yang. Givens has been incredible for 3 weeks. He came out versus the Bears and laid a stinker. He was awful week 1. And I was like, and then 3 weeks straight, he has just been an absolute stud. So they're great, but now you have to compound that. Back to Josh again. Are we worried about Eric Armstead long-term with his foot?
Long-term meaning what? Long-term for this season? Because I consider that being short-term compared to career, right? So this is not turf toe. This is plantar fasciitis. So this is something totally different. It's not career ending. But if those guys are developing like we saw, you can allow him to rest. And we want we want the reinforcements when we absolutely need them. You ever play Uno, John?
Oh, yeah.
You hold on to your wild cards like Wayne Breezy does until the very end, and you just go bam, 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 bam.
I don't like winning. I like seeing somebody thinking they're going to win, and then they say Uno, and then destroying their childhood.
That's mean, bro. You're the nicest guy I've ever met, but that's terribly mean.
Yeah, when you play me in Monopoly, man, if you're not willing to lose relationships, you ain't playing right. That's all I'm saying.
I won't play Monopoly with you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? You're holding on to some trumps, and you could do this. Speaking of trumps, and I know we didn't jump to this because we're answering this question right here. I'm not worried about him long term, because the 49ers have the depth. We talked about that. That's all we've been talking about. They have the right depth. You get what I'm saying? Here's the thing, though. The 49ers they're going to have a few jokers or trump cards or wild 4 cards in their deck for the remainder of the season. Listen, I know Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett are cleared to practice this week because they're coming off of the PUP and the injury reserve, and they're also getting Curtis Lofton back. But here's the thing. They don't need him. So you hold on to him. Now, I know Jimmy Ward's going to want to play. So that's that's a good problem. But as far as Jason Verrett, I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers put him back on the IR now. You did 4 weeks on the PUP. Now go do 4 weeks on the IR, man. We'll hit you back after the bye week.
They're both starting their practice window, which was interesting.
That's what I'm saying, which is this week. Yeah. So
there's no injuries in the secondary. Everybody's healthy. Everything's going smooth.
Can you do me a favor? I got a personal question. Can you pull up JD Hilger's comment?
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it. Sorry, we don't have the man behind the scenes.
All right, I can read it. I see it right here.
Yeah, please do. I'm scrolling.
Well,
I
just wanted to, because I wanted to ask him a question or ask her a question. He said, I had plantar fasciitis a few years back. Lasted about 3 months for me. Hope it heals a lot faster. So I have it now.
I didn't know that.
And that's why when we were out, like, and you saw me kind of like you asked me what was wrong. My feet were hurting. So let me ask you this. How do you get rid of it? The stuff that they tell you got to do, like, I just can't find the time to do that. I can't sit and roll a ball on my foot. Like, that's not what I do. Because I'm always on the go. But if you can, JD Hilger, can you email me or email John and let me know?
I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how you were able to
rest is the big one. But yeah, you've got to do that. The good news is Eric Armstead isn't doing the podcast schedule that Wayne Breezy is. And so hopefully he has the time to roll a ball around on his foot. Appreciate you, Lake City Fresh, for the cutthroat that comes out in all of the sporting events or card games, video games, doesn't matter. I play to win the game. I play to win the game.
I love it.
What's up? Woke Niner Recaps. He says, John, see you next game.
Yeah.
That's right, man. We are traveling. That's what we do. And we got big ones. So Charlotte, we got your Saturday planned. We are going to be freaking hanging out. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to be Saturday at Graham Street Pub and Patio right next to the stadium. Then Charlotte Tailgate's going to be off the chain at Town Brewing Company right next to the stadium. We're going to walk over just like we did in Denver, which was awesome. And Wayne's going to be with us in Atlanta, which we are throwing up some great part. Atlanta's going to be
on and popping. I can tell you that right now.
And I'm telling you this, if you're coming to Atlanta or Charlotte, Atlanta's selling out. Charlotte, we're probably going to sell out the tailgate. Saturday night, looks like we still got some spots left. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. I'm telling you right now, Atlanta's selling out. So we tell people this all the time. We sold 3 out of 4 events out so far. Atlanta's selling out, just so you know. So if you know somebody that wants to come hang out, we would love to have you guys. Please come on out with us. Now, I want to talk about this because the injuries to Colton McKivitz, I think that was probably the biggest negative, right? He has an MCL sprain just like Elijah Mitchell, just like Aziz. He's going to be out 2 months. Now, again, yin and yang, let's balance these. Colton McKivitz played incredible, by the way. Like, Colton McKivitz might be a starting right tackle for the 49ers next year. I'm just going to put that little, if you can't get McGlinchey on a really good deal, McKivitz, his Irish counterpart, could be taking over right tackle, and I'd be very, very happy. But not that I want McGlinchey gone. I just want a team-friendly deal long-term if we're going to keep him. Trent Williams, however, not on IR. Not on IR, which I think is important.
Not only that, but I heard through the grapevine that he told somebody that he will be back sooner than you would think.
That's awesome.
And let me tell you why. Winning cures injuries. Winning cures just about anything in the world. When you're out there winning and you know you can contribute, but you can't contribute, you want to contribute, it speeds up the healing process somewhat, some way, in some crazy high fashion. I can tell you right now, whatever he saw last night out there on the field, he's been waiting for that. And I know we haven't started talking about Jimmy Garoppolo yet, but that's the Jimmy that I expect every week. Miss about 10 passes, completed, high accurate throws, just about. Gonna have some bad throws, but is gonna get into the end zone and is gonna be able to manage the game in order to help seal the deal. That's the Jimmy Garoppolo I want. If we get an anomaly, now listen, we saw the worst Jimmy. That means if we saw the worst, the yin and the yang says that we're going to get an absolute best. If we had an absolute worst, we're gonna get an absolute best. What we saw from Jimmy was just Jimmy. But there's gonna be one game where he's probably gonna throw for 5 touchdowns, and I'm gonna say this guy could be a top 5 quarterback in the league.
I love that you already know it and you're setting yourself up for it. And I hope it happens. I hope Jimmy wins the MVP. That would be the best case scenario, right? Mm-hmm. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I think he's on pace for maybe like 15 touchdown passes on the year if he keeps pace where he's at. Hopefully that picks up some. But I don't care about touchdown passes. I care if he doesn't throw interceptions. That's what I care about more than anything. So I'll take that. Now, Lake City Fresh, I love this. We're getting some medical advice. He says, Breezy, you got to stretch the Achilles. Just roll the foot on the ball. It works. I had it twice. Foam roller works as well. Chop Suey coming in strong. I wore pads in my shoes. Little ball, Stutz, as seen on the info. I love this, man. We got such an educated freaking audience helping us out.
You love about community, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's what you love about the community. 49er Jeff is in the building. Great guy, man. Really great guy.
Love it, man. Yeah, come with us in Atlanta. Everything that we have available is on 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Head there. The whole season's out. Now, I saw somebody ask about the Chiefs game, if we're going to be there, and I have to say I cannot make it that week. I wanted to make it that week, Brad, but I can't. My wife has a huge, giant interview. Man, I've never talked about this on the show before. We're possibly going to be relocating next year. And so she has to go for this big board meeting, which the spouse has to be. So it's the day before the game. So I have to be there for that one. Just cannot make it. But good news, one of the opportunities is in the Santa Clara area. Now, this is a long ways out, but I told wifey, yeah, if it's anywhere close to there, let's jump on that bad boy, which would be awesome. So anyway, we'll see. I get to go support the wifey, which I'm super excited. She's got a lot of big accomplishments coming her way, which she's awesome. But so yeah, I can't make that one. So we're doing every single away game and the Miami home game, which again, all tickets for those tailgates and parties are up on the block now. I'm working to get a reserved discount room at the team hotel for the Miami game so we can stay where all the 49ers players stay. So stay tuned for that one. Going to save you guys some money. Don't get your hotel booked yet. Now,
Somebody
Yes, sir.
asked me about Magic City. So let me just explain this really quickly. If they're open for business, Breezy's gonna be there, but I'm going for the chicken wings. I'm just keeping it. John, am I lying? What do I eat, John, on these road trips?
We pick up Wade at the Denver airport, and I was like, dude, we were starving, right? We both just got off long flights, and Breezy's always delayed because he's on a no-fly list or something. I don't even know what the deal is. And I'm like, dude, I'm hungry. I need some food. And Wayne goes, man, I really want some wings. I was like, all right, cool. Let's go get some wings. Wayne had wings 4 times in 2 days. After that, I mean, he crushed it. So nothing wrong with wings. I ain't mad at you. I'm not a chicken guy myself.
And I didn't waste one wing. That means that they were good. They were hitting in Denver. Denver, good job on the wings.
He did not. Anyway, yeah, he so you got to trust Wade whenever it comes to wings. You trust me? I don't know what you trust me on yet. We'll figure that out as this.
Oh, John,
this
you were the taco king. Listen, John had tacos for breakfast. Like, not breakfast tacos.
That's actually correct.
Literally tacos for. I said, John, and then the one night that I go to bed early, John walks into the room. Guess what he walked in there with?
Tacos. I don't even remember what time that was. That was like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Doesn't matter. You walked in with tacos, John. I saw you when I got there. We had tacos, and when I left, you had tacos. So you did tacos. I did wings. That's how we do.
I love it. Hey, man, it's the way we go. It's the way we go. So, all right, let's do this. Okay, let's talk about the NFC West. Yes. Let's talk about the NFC. If we look at the NFC West, every team's 2-2. However, the 49ers have the 2-0 divisional record. And again, you know, we just look at just the stats as sorry, I have it open the wrong page here. So this is the divisional record. 49ers are 2-0. The Rams are 1-1, and the Cardinals and Seahawks are 0-1. 49ers currently in first place. Now, is there any threat to the 49ers currently in the NFC West outside of the Rams? Is it just the Rams? Are you worried about the Cardinals or Seahawks?
I always worry about the Cardinals. For some reason, the NFC West is weird, right? So each team has an arch nemesis. And it doesn't matter, we're the Rams' arch nemesis. They can beat every other team except for the 49ers. We usually struggled with the Seahawks, and we struggled also with the Cardinals. It was like, you know, the Seahawks, we would lose. That was our arch nemesis. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll. But we would always split with the Rams. So the Rams still gives me that feeling. So the Mexico City game, even though we're going to treat it like a home game, because I guarantee you our faithful will travel 10 times better than Arizona's, right? Treat it like a home game. It's just Cliff Kingsbury and freaking the little midget guy. Like, they just know, they just do things. Now, 49ers defense is really good this year. So it should be different. And once Kyle Shanahan figures out that formula on just demolishing the Rams, demolishing the Cardinals, I won't fear the Cardinals. So to answer your question, I don't fear the Cardinals, but those games usually go 50-50. Yeah. It's usually a split.
And the thing that I think makes it so different this year is that the Seahawks have dominated us nonstop for a decade. You just blew them out. And so that was, you know, that was another one you usually went 0-2 on. You beat the Rams 2-0, and then you split the Cardinals. Now you're up. And so if we can maintain that, I'm not too concerned about the Cardinals. I mean, the fact that they're 2-2, I think they got lucky on that one awesome comeback, which was incredible. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Lake City Fresh. I'm seeing some chat in there about some Trey Lance stuff. I want to keep it on par. We're going to have a lot of time to talk Trey Lance when that time comes. I don't think Jimmy's the long-term answer. I don't think he can be because he has the no franchise tag in his clause. Jimmy ain't coming back no matter what. He don't want to come back. Mm-hmm. He wants to go get paid somewhere else. But anyway, I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole, but I want to say thank you, Lake City Fresh. So, all right, cool. That's the NFC West. We're in first place right now, but long ways to go. If we look outside of the NFC West, obviously the Eagles, they are the real deal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stay away from them. Are you concerned about the New York Giants that are 3-1? Oh, go ahead.
But I think if we play the Eagles, they won't be the real deal. See, a lot of people, first of all, and he shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But the 49ers, come on, man. Easily we should be 4-0 with the Eagles, right? Easily. Yeah. Unfortunately, goose eggs. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. John had shrimp tacos for one meal. He had breakfast tacos. He had chicken tacos. And John, what else can you put in the taco?
Everything, man. There were no
Everything.
brisket. We were in Denver. That's a crying shame. That's my go-to brisket. I'm just saying. I'm from Texas. Yeehaw,
Bang,
baby.
bang, bang.
Yeehaw.
All I'm saying is the 49ers, if they didn't beat themselves in 2 of the 4 games that they played, they'll be sitting at 4-0 as well. I think the 49ers have the defense that can match up with Philly. Philly added a couple of pieces. They drafted a piece and then they added AJ Brown in the offseason, you can probably say. And Jalen Hurts is a guy that's going to try to keep drives alive. But we kept him at bay last time. And so I feel like we'll match up defensively because we also upgraded our defense. Last time we played them, we had 0 cornerbacks and rookies back there getting burnt, aka Deommodore Lenoir, who looks like a lockdown nickelback cornerback, right? So when I look at the Philly Eagles, and this is not a shot to them, I just don't think they played a defense like ours. And I don't care what Buffalo does out there. The 49ers, I don't care what the ESPN stats say. 49ers got the best defense in the league.
It's
And
not close.
they don't even let teams score touchdowns in the first half of the game, bro.
I mean, if you just look, I tweeted this out, but I'll just read this real quick. These are the defensive ranks, 32 teams, right? Oh, what's up, man? Tanya, what's up, Tanya? She says, appreciate the gift. I'm on my lunch break, just showing some love. Everybody have a blessed Tuesday. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate your generosity. Enjoy lunch. I recommend tacos. Wayne recommends wings.
Lemon pepper wings, too. If they got the lemon pepper ratio right, I promise you, your taste buds going to be pop, pop, pop. Promise.
All right. Now, here are the 49ers defensive ranks. Best, number 1 out of 32 teams, points scored, total yards, first downs, passing touchdowns, yards per rush attempt. They're number 1 in all those categories. Number 2, yards passing. Number 2, yards rushing. Number 3, yards per pass attempt. It doesn't make any sense to be that good in that many categories.
That's scary. Oh, what's more scary is Jimmy Ward ain't playing. Eric Armstead isn't playing. Jason Verrett isn't playing. These are starters.
And that's another thing. You look at this Rams game, the 49ers started the game down 6 starters. 6 out of 22. Like, it's not like everything's going picture perfect for the 49ers defense. It's not. There's some patchwork going on there. But at the same time, and then, no Kinlaw, that's been huge. The Rams can't run the ball.
Right, that's right.
And I mean, I don't know.
Listen, like I said, I'm not taking shots, and congrats to the Eagles staying at 4-0. But I can see that, you know how the Cardinals usually start off hot and then they decline. I can see that being an Eagles team, especially when they get to the meat and potatoes of their games, right? And so 49ers are going through, they're going to get ready to go through this fire, through this furnace. And it's probably only going to make them come out like Valerian steel. That's how I'm looking at this furnace being. Furnace starting Kansas City Chiefs. All right. So right now, this is where they go into the fire and they start forming it, right? You start forming it now, right? You play the Panthers, you start sharpening your sword. You play the Falcons, you sharpen it even more. Then you're going to get tested against that offense and Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback in the league. I just think that's what he is. I mean, you can say Josh Allen, I raise you Patrick Mahomes, because the way he extends his plays is ridiculous, because not only is he extending the play, not only does he run to the goddamn the line of scrimmage, then he throws it and the guy's wide open and it's a touchdown. I just don't understand how he does that, right? So that's where your test starts. And all I'm going to say is I don't think that their offense can score that many points on this defense. 17 max from Kansas City. Max.
I ain't mad at it. So, okay, let's concede. Okay, Philly's good. They're a threat. Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants? I mean, the Cowboys got a good defense. Cooper Rush has got some things going smoothly. I don't know, man. I'm not too fearful of the Cowboys.
I'm not. They're not even putting up the points that they put up last year, I will give them credit, but they can't run the ball. If you take a team's runaway and make them one-dimensional, it's time for the secondary to feast. And we didn't even talk about our secondary dropping not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, Fred had a drop. Tyshawn Gibson had a drop. Dre Greenlaw would have had a pick, but it got tipped by Givens, which was his job.
Yep.
And was there another one I'm missing? Did Demo drop one? Who dropped one?
I thought that was I counted those as my 3. I shouldn't probably count the tip. But he was there. If that ball was in the air a half a piece a second longer, his fingertips was right under that pass.
And, Antonio says 6-2 at the bye week. That would be insane. Now, 49ers, the problem is they leave stuff lacking. Now, you've got these 2 very winnable games. Very winnable games. At Carolina, at Atlanta. Those are Carolina, I don't know. I don't have any faith in Baker Mayfield. I'm more worried about the Falcons than I am the Panthers. But again, not even worried about the Falcons. I'm worried about the 49ers. And, we talk about the NFC and, we go through these. I'm not too worried about Kirk Cousins. No, I ain't worried about Green Bay. Their offense is, a mess and Rodgers is going to do what he does. But I'm worried about the 49ers. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. If they could play their way, they can beat anybody in the NFC with ease.
There it is.
Who's going to show up, right? You got to flip the coin. Consistency is the truest measure of greatness. That's a Robert Saleh quote.
I think the consistency, though, will come as they continue to gel. I know we want them to be consistent, but it takes some gelling, right? So, like I said, all right, hear me out. And I don't want to compare. I'm not comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Trey Lance. I'm comparing the preparation. Your team was preparing. Trey Lance was the guy. Why? Because the coach said so. So your team was preparing and set up to follow the coach's plan for this guy. And then the plan had a curveball. It was a changeup, whatever you want to call it. He got injured. Now the plan has to change, not shift, but literally change. You have to change the plan. And so Kyle Shanahan now has to first make sure that he gets his team on board with the new plan, and then they get acclimated. So it's going to take a second or two. And so it started to gel on Monday Night Football. Now the question is, usually when Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback on the road, they do what they need to do. They find ways to gel, right? They become that band of brothers team. I think this road trip, that West Virginia stay, is going to be really good for Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers.
Yep, I like it, man. Mosquito Killer just said he just bought his tickets to the Atlanta party. Excited to have you there, man. That is awesome. I freaking love it. I'll say that. I want to talk about this briefly. Daryl says, will we be looking for defensive tackle help? I doubt it. You've got Ridgeway and Givens. They're going to stay inside. Kerry Hyder was getting some snaps there. He was up and down. Charles Omenihu was getting some snaps there. He actually played pretty good. I think you got those 2. Akeem Spence you can bring up. There you go. That's 5. That's your 5 DTs. You might bring in somebody on the practice squad, but
I doubt they even do that. Kyle Shanahan likes the depth that they have. D'Amico Ryans has those guys rotating and playing well. You're not really skipping the beat. The fact that they're playing well can give Javon Kinlaw more time to rest. It can also give time for Eric Armstead to rest. And I think we go full swing on those inside guys. And the fact you got the 2 tweener guys that you just mentioned, Kerry Hyder could be outside in. I think you're going to start seeing him more inside, as well as Charles Omenihu. And so now if you got pass rushing from the inside, you can start producing pressure from the inside as well as the out, forcing them to bring in tight ends, taking less weapons for these other teams. Listen, Kyle Pitts is not a blocking tight end, so I don't see him being a factor in 2 weeks. Why? Talanoa Hufanga and Jimmy Ward, or Tashawn Gibson and whoever else is going to be out there. And as far as next week, who is the tight end for the Carolina Panthers? So like this, it's going to be really intricate to see what the 49ers or what the game plan is. And no one, not John, not I, have even mentioned what we saw yesterday from the defense as far as blitzes, right? Diamador Lenore got a sack from a blitz, from a nickelback blitz. Shoot, we had a safety blitz where Talanoa Hufanga shot so far fast up in the gap. Like he just missed everybody. Like, but the play went the opposite way, but he was there. So you're starting to see some timing things, which is good because you don't want to just have to sit there and be like rush 4. You want to be able to hit them when they least expect it. It's called sneak attack.
Yep. Yeah. The 49ers blitzed 17 times versus the Rams. That's a lot. That's a lot for against, a quarterback, Matt Stafford, who historically one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. Their offensive line was just, they couldn't do anything. It was just pressure on pressure on pressure. Then their center went out early. Then D'Amico just said, we're messing up your protection every single play. We're going to blitz up the middle. We're going to blitz on the outside. We're messing up your numbers. And it worked. We were screaming this all freaking offseason. The Rams lost so much. They lost so much this offseason. They're not the same Rams as they were last year. They really, really weren't. And it showed out. It showed out. Now, looking to the Panthers, Lake City says they're going to CMC us to death and we will stop it, of course. Now, CMC is incredible. Amazing. The problem is he's not a power runner through the A gaps, which if you're going to beat the 49ers with Kinlaw and Armstead out, you got to be able to run up the middle. CMC is more of a space guy. He's serviceable up the middle, but he's not that kind of plow ahead, 4 yards in a cloud of dust guy. That's how you're going to have to beat the 49ers defense. I don't think they could do that. And Nick Bosa hates Baker Mayfield probably more than anybody else in the NFL. We saw it against the Browns. You remember the Monday Night Football game from 2019. I'm legitimately concerned for Baker Mayfield's well-being.
So that's funny. You're concerned for him, and I'm concerned for CMC. If I'm CMC, I take this week off. Just a business decision.
Hey,
the 49ers have been handling bigger backs and taking them out of the game. Business decision. And the only way, in my opinion, he'll be effective is the 49ers miss a gap. Like if a linebacker doesn't fill in one of those holes or plug up or whatever, whatnot, and he kind of like gets a break, but he's more of a shifty guy, right? He's kind of like, he's more of a shifty guy. If you get him out and get him into space, he has more of a possibility to make a play. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And look, we were blitzing. Listen, the Rams were citying us last night. Everything was a screen. Screen here. Cooper Kupp, Higbee. Everything. Quick. Why? Pass rush. They wanted to negate. They wanted us to over pursue. They get the ball out and they get 8 or 9 yards, 10 yards, first downs. And guess what? It resulted in field goal points. You mean to tell me that the Carolina Panthers are going to be able to do better than what Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams did? In my opinion, Cam Akers is a back sort of similar to what CMC does, but they couldn't even get Cam Akers going. They had to bring in the bigger guys, Henderson. So you might see more Chuba Hubbard and Foreman more than you see CMC. And like I said, CMC, you're great. Last time you played the 49ers, you were a non-factor. I think you might want to take this week off.
It's interesting. Carolina's been fun. You remember that was Nick Bosa's best game as a pro, still to this day.
That was Tevin Coleman's best game as a pro too. And guess who's on this team?
There you go. I hate that. I just got this question and it broke my heart just seeing it. Am I gonna? Man, how do I find it? I'm so bad at this. Anyway, at some point, will Jordan Mason get some run? I don't think so. Not now. Not now.
It's John. Kyle Shanahan. And this has nothing to do with Jordan Mason skill set. Excuse me. Let me take that back. This has nothing to do with skill set. Pass protection is everything. One little mishap can get your quarterback injured. We only have one quarterback back there. You got to go with the veteran backs. You got to go with the guys that are going to be able to pass protect, opposed to a guy that might still be learning and developing as a pass protector in the NFL. Therefore, you go with Jeff Wilson Jr. You got to figure out if Marlon Mack's going to be up here, and then you got to go ahead and roll with Tevin Coleman. I think that's the biggest thing, because Kyle Shanahan, after Jimmy Garoppolo, there's Brock Purdy, and I'm not ready to call it quits this year this season. So you got to keep Jimmy Garoppolo as healthy as you possibly can. And it starts with running back protection. And I think that's it. He's a rookie and you don't want to put too much on him. And Kyle likes to develop guys. And don't ask me why did he go with Elijah Mitchell, because Elijah Mitchell showed in practice that he was ready to be the number one guy. You know what Elijah Mitchell couldn't do? Just stay healthy.
Yep. But we're going to get him back. And
Absolutely.
if Jeff Wilson can hold it down, if you get Elijah Mitchell back, and then you have that 1-2 punch plus TDP. TDP is going to be back before Elijah Mitchell. Kyle trusts him a little bit more. We've already seen it. And yeah, I'm with you. I've been screaming at the wall, man. It won't answer me back. Mason needs touches. It ain't going to happen. And I hate to say it. I do hate to say it. Anyway, now, Wayne, before we get out of here, we had a really good week. I got to share. If you bet with us, we went 8 for 8 on our MyBookie bets of the week, which I'm so pumped about. And if you haven't joined us yet, we share them on our Patreon. Wayne's doing it too. We got all kinds of stuff. Check it out. Real quick word from our sponsor. You know football, and you pick winners all the time, so why not get paid for them at MyBookie? Best single game spreads, money lines, parlays, teasers, multiple. You put it all together, increase your payouts however it is you want to go bet. They've got individual game lines, stats, who makes playoffs, who doesn't. Now, what's even better about it, low cost entry fees on over $500,000 to be won. Make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have fun. And that's what's awesome. You can bet a little bit. I'm an entertainment guy. I don't put a whole bunch on there, but getting started is easy. You just head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code 49ERS on your first deposit. They're going to double it all the way up, $1 for $1, up to $1,000 on your first deposit. So again, use our promo code 49ERS, double it all the way up to $1,000. MyBookie is a proven sportsbook that makes it simple to bet and win. We've used them for over 5 years now. So make this your winning season exclusively at MyBookie. Now, real quick, Juan, he says, when did Wilson Jr. get some wheels? He hit over 19 miles an hour on that touchdown run, untouched, which was awesome. And not to be undone, you had Hufanga, who actually hit 20 miles per hour on his pick six. Again, two guys that have been lauded as slow. They don't have the top end speed. They now own the two fastest GPS track times for the 49ers. Not Debo, not Ayuk. Freaking Hufanga and Jeff Wilson.
Yeah,
a little bit of a shocker.
Well, Jeff Wilson, you started to see it in the last game when he had the big run in Denver. Unfortunately, he made a cut, and I thought he probably should have cut to the inside, tried to make the guy miss. But running backs are told if you're going to cut, get to the outside just in case you fumble the ball. It's a more likely chance it'll go out of bounds. So Wilson he's got wheels. I clocked him at Mostert speed. And so, yeah, that guy is going to be a problem. And then a lot of people saying they want Jordan Mason. Listen, you use what you got, man. If Jeff Wilson is the guy, you use him. And the only thing is, and John, you can correct me if you see different. I don't think Jeff Wilson is the outside guy. Why not run more inside traps? Why not run more halfback gut plays? Like not dives, but the gut. You saw him run up the gut. Aaron Banks sealed out. Brindle sealed in. Like it was perfection. Untouched. Just another thing. Aaron Donald wasn't in on that play, and you absolutely take advantage when Aaron Donald isn't in on that play. You guys ever play fantasy football and you forget to change your lineup because you like me on Sunday because I'm doing my pick'em show, John, and I'm telling everybody get your lineups in because the first game is at 9:30, and when I finish my show, it's 9:33. I'm like, oh, sugar snaps. Michael Thomas I forgot. Oh, snap. Alvin Kamara's now playing. Hey, man, you take advantage of your opponent when they slip. Rams got caught slipping. Kyle Shanahan dialed up the play. Jeff Wilson Jr., 30-plus yard touchdown.
Oh, man, he looked good. And, another thing that I thought was interesting, Debo had 2 rush attempts. That was it.
2 for 2.
He was used as a decoy. They did, play action to him away through backside. Like, I love that use of Debo, and he still has his big plays. You don't have to run them nonstop.
Exactly, John. And listen, I've been saying this for almost, I don't know how many episodes. Just put the ball in Debo's hands. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Debo, remember the term playmaker? That's what Debo is. F wide receiver, F running back, F the wide back. Just call him a playmaker. That's what he does. Even Jimmy Garoppolo said, "Man, I just got to we just got to get the ball put in his hands." After that, even Hofunga had the best comment. Did you see Debo's touchdown? Debo scored a touchdown.
Yeah, he was on the side. He
I was
didn't
making
even know.
adjustments. He said I was focusing on my thing, making adjustments. My bad. Yeah, man.
I love this comment, Wally Llama. We talked about it on the breakdown. I can't believe this. I broke down the offense right before we went live here. I haven't even released it yet, but I used this term, Wally Llama. Great minds think alike. I said Debo had gravity the whole game because he was drawn. Everybody was he was absorbing defenders around him, 2 to 3 defenders all the time. And it was leaving these other players wide open. And I kept using this term. I was like, look at the gravity of Debo. And look at Wally Llama throwing it out there right now, which I love. And so freaking awesome. Just I love it, man. We've got incredible people in this group, well-educated fans in this group. And I don't know, man. There are shows that do like narrative driven, whatever, but I don't think that's us. And, Wayne admits when he's wrong. I'm wrong all the damn time. And it's not about us. It's not about, hammering home those ideas that we're big on. Yeah, we do it sometimes, but it's about the team, and whenever we're looking at this and we're, trying to enjoy this, it's real easy to point fingers and blame when the 49ers are losing. But man, coming off a win like this, everything feels good. Everything tastes good. And enjoy, you know what I mean? Like, enjoy this, and we should enjoy the positives, and that's what we're trying to do here. Build the community, hang out with the community, with the Rush road trip, all that kind of stuff. I feel good, Wayne. How you feeling? We're first quarter of the season's done. We're 2-2, not great, but we are in first place.
I had us at 3-1, but 2-2 is good. 2-2 says good. If we make better adjustments, the next quarter we can go 4-0. Hey, and let's just keep it a buck. All they got to do is go 2-0, build the juju on the road, come back home. They're undefeated at home. Come back home, play the Chiefs, not a primetime game. Who cares? It's still going to get primetime coverage, right? Do what they do. 49ers should have the worst taste. I'm talking like artificial sweetener tastes in their mouths. I'm talking sweet and low. That's the nastiest fake sugar I've ever tasted in my life. Taste in their mouth when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the 49ers are going to prevail. Not looking past the two teams that they got to play. They got to beat the Carolina Panthers first, starting there. But I'm telling you right now, if the 49ers go on this spiritual high, being away, getting together, becoming tighter, this road trip is coming at the right time for the 49ers, John. And 6-2 is what you guys are seeing out there. I see you guys putting 6-2. There's a huge possibility that could be the 49ers. And then the league is going to start going stir crazy.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, a couple updates because I'm flying out early Thursday to get all the way out to Carolina. We are going to do our episode with Brian from Legit Football. We're going to do that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Here. And we have our Patreon-only bonus episode with 49ers Cutback at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So big day tomorrow if you want to catch those shows. Wayne, update us on your schedule, when we can catch everything. What do you got going on this week?
All right, guys, you can catch me every day on the Wayne Breezy channel at 11:30 a.m. It's so early. I'd be wanting to get John on there, but I don't like to wake up John. It's just really early. But hey, John, all you got to do is say, Breezy, send me the link. Boom, it'll be there in your email. But every day, 11:30 a.m., we do the Wayne Breezy Show. We talk Niners. We sing a little bit. We just have a good old time for about an hour. All right. And then today, I'll be on Nothing But Niners Tuesdays and Thursdays of this week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everything's Eastern Standard Time for my language. It's where I live. And then I'll be a guest on a few shows this week. A couple of people want me to come on their show and talk. So it's going to be a good week, and I'm prepared for Carolina. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make this game. I have one of those high profile weddings on Saturday, and so I'm gonna be out in New York doing probably like a sports player's wedding. So that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
that's awesome. That's really
Yeah,
cool, man.
only reason
Congratulations.
I couldn't turn it down, John. I'm trying to build a network, bro.
Build it, bro. Build it. I'm excited. You're going to be with us in Atlanta, though, and that
I'll
is
be
going to
there
be
early. Yeah, early. Mhm.
That's going to be awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. I want to say thank you to our executive producers, Kilted 49er and 49ers George 365. It's going to be a good week. Enjoy it. Got a big game coming up this week against Carolina. Until then, stay strong, faithful.